Hi, I'm Karee Moore, Psychic Medium. Welcome to the Know and Let Go series where I'm teaching about mediumship and remote viewing and how I do what I do. I've had a lot of clients and friends ask me to have teaching, so I've implemented this course. I hope you stay tuned. But this first session is going to be covering the third eye. I want to teach you a little bit about that to give you some insight as to how I'm physically able to connect. Now, we all have an anatomical organ called a pineal gland, and it looks a lot like a pine cone, thus the name pineal gland. And this is actually not a pine cone, but actually a lot of shapes and forms in nature take on the same structures, and I'm sure you've noticed that if you look at a lot of plants and things, but it actually represents, it looks like a pine cone, but it's small, it's real small. It's about the size of an acorn. I found this morning on my walk with the dog, and it's very small. It's a little gland that resides between the two hemispheres of the brain on the hypothalamus. It is in the center of the brain, and it is said to be where our soul resides. But honestly, it's the connection, the gland that is actually the connection to the higher realms, the other dimensions actually within this space that we'll talk about later. This gland, its main function for our body is to regulate our sleep patterns and secrete melatonin, and which is actually serotonin. It's derived from serotonin, and that's the main function of it. All living organisms have this cycle that goes on, a 24-hour cycle, and it's called the circadian rhythm, and it's just your biological clock. So at night it gets activated, and it is a doorway that is actually how we ascend when we're sleeping and we travel. I'm sure you've all dreamed and felt like you were actually somewhere else in your dream, and when you woke up you actually thought you had gone somewhere, and that's because you actually did. And what's happening is the energy is opening you up to the energy that you're submerged in, and you're able to travel along these lines of energy, these frequencies. You can't perceive them with your five senses. You can feel them with your sixth if you're really in tune and you practice and using your pineal gland, and you'll get better and better and better at it. So I've been doing this since as young as I can remember. 3 was the first experience that I recall reflecting back, as was my first out of body, so to speak, out of my own self-awareness, and actually a oneness feeling that I experienced with the energy fields around me. I was a little girl, and I was raised in North Hollywood, California when I was a kid, and we had a huge front lawn, and in fact it was a big magnolia tree. This is the seed from a magnolia flower. And I remember one summer I was laying in the front lawn looking up at this beautiful tree, and I don't even know how much time passed, and I can remember playing with the lights around the tree, and it was mesmerizing, and I can remember being able to control them. I could make them bigger or smaller, but the tree had an aura of light energy that it was emitting, and I was somehow projecting into that energy field, and I could feel it. Trees are amazing. You laugh at tree huggers, but trees have amazing energy. It's the purest form, I feel. Plants are amazing. I have plants all over the place. I have a plant in my living room that I've had 36 years. He actually has a name. His name is Herb. But if you've been to my home for some readings, you've seen him. He's in the living room right there where I do my readings. But he's still alive and going. But I attribute that to my high frequency that they pick up on, and you know how they always say if you sing or talk to plants, you know, they're going to be happy and they'll thrive. There's something to that, just so you know. I had a neighbor once that she couldn't grow a thing, unfortunately, and I knew right away what the deal was, because, you know, she was one of those kind that you just didn't want to be near, and I felt the plants felt the same thing, but we won't go there right now. But there's a lot to that. So, you know, it's the gland that allows me to travel astrally and to project. So we all have one. Animals have them too. Whales and dolphins are said to have high functioning pineal glands. Cats have very high functioning pineal glands. Dogs have them. So that would explain why I see the animals in my visions, and I can communicate with the animals via the pineal gland, because we're all communicating with this same language, this energy language, this frequency. This is also the mechanism they use to know, like flocks of birds, how they all communicate, you know, how they all turn at the same time, or schools of fish, you know, they know their vibrations, they feel this field of energy, and anyway, it's the pineal gland that accesses that. So anyway, that's just a brief summary of the anatomical organ in your body. It's a hormonal gland that is present in everyone, and you can practice using it by meditation and doing this and get better and better and better at it. I don't know. I've never had a problem. I just decide and I go there, and I can just switch in and out like a light switch, and I don't know. It's just who I am. I'm hypersensitive in that way, and it's a beautiful gift that I cherish. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and we'll move on to the next. I'm going to shift over. Here we go. We'll see you soon.